Post-production.
I mean, to me it sounds terrible, but we don't have a
I wonder if it's better if I just tell people you do post-production. Oh, somebody already said it. Oh, I don't know where she got it.
Checking. Hello, 1 2. Check 1 2. Hello, hello. Check 1 2. Right there. Is this top one the gain? This is the gain right here. What?
Don't mess with that.
Yeah. Go on. I'm gonna start it out.
That'll work too. I'm just like, I'll yell out. Yeah. No, I know. Well, I don't want, yeah, I want it lower. That's what I need to do. Yeah. Oh, no, if it's too loud in these ears, it's gonna hit them. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm not gonna touch the, exactly.
Madness Arena here on this Sunday morning, Championship Sunday, as we know it, all around the country, and two teams spawning from places where the AFC Championship will be from. It is the UMass-Amherst Minutemen, of course, with the Patriots, and then the Denver Pioneers, of course, here in Denver with the Broncos. The Pioneers enter this game 4-18. They'll be up against the 11-7-2 Minutemen out of UMass-Amherst. They're coming off of back-to-back wins to start their trip out to Colorado. 4-2 over the Colorado Buffaloes on Friday night. Then it was a 3-2 victory yesterday in overtime. It was Little putting in the game winner. When it comes to Denver, they're on a one-game winning streak. At just 4-18, they got their first win of the new year. That was in Rhode Island, a 3-2 victory. Alicia Sharoon, Gabby Mansour, as well as Cassie Doherty scoring the power play goal in the third period. That turned into the winner. You're listening to Price Productions. I'm Zach Goodman, finishing up the national anthem here before we are at game time. Lily Moravchik had a great game as well in Rhode Island for the Pioneers. A couple of assists. She was the only Pioneer with a 2-point game. They were outshot 41-28, so perhaps the most important player of the game was Cunningham. 39 saves in 41 shots against the Pioneer goaltender. Again, an early morning game here in Denver, Colorado, just south of the city. A 9:30 a.m. start, getting after things real early here. The Minutemen, again, coming off of back-to-back victories. It was a 1-2 road trip out in Rhode Island, and that's a team that both of these guys have faced off against. 2 wins against Rhode Island for the Minutemen. They won 5-0 and 3-2. That was the same score that the Pioneers won by, and they have been really staunch defensively. 3 or less goals allowed in 17 of the 20 games that they have played in, or rather 18 of the 20. The only 2 times that they have given up more than 3 goals in a game, it was a 6-2 and 6-0 defeat to a really good Liberty team. All right. In the white, it's the Pioneers. They'll be going left to right here in the first period. The Minutemen in red, they'll be going right to left. The puck has dropped, and we are underway. Immediately, the puck drops, and it ends up on the stick of Charlotte Katz. The Pioneers in their own zone. And that pass is intercepted. Centering pass, intercepted. Shot on net. It's blocked before it gets there. That came off the stick of Karlstein. She collects the puck, tries a D-to-D pass. It didn't go through, as that was intended for Dunn. At the blue line, picked up by Samantha Brennan. She's pinned into the corner. Helping out there is Lily Sparrow. Now into the zone, it's Gromko holding on the backhand beneath the net, and both her as well as Laura Davies going to hit the ice. Here's a backhanded opportunity, and the first shot of the game goes in. It's Gromko scoring less than a minute into this one, just 56 seconds in, and it's 1-0. First shot of the game is in. And the Pioneers trail early. It's 1-0. For Gromko, the leading scorer for the Minutemen, gets her 9th of the season, her 12th point. That leads the team. Entering the zone, a shot save, was going 5-hole, and an easy stop as this reams around and collected again underneath the net. That one's pushed all around. This is pinched off by Chisdeck, not kept into the zone, despite a good effort there from Chelsea Donovan. Donovan, one of several members of this Pioneer team that joined the squad here in the new year. Tons of girls that were abroad in that first part of the season as Chisdek dangles around a defender. Her pass intended for was intercepted. Here's a pass across from Donovan. She's going to find the captain Swyjack, who pushes that shot wide. A deep wrister from the very high slot. Picked up and swung around by Zoo. Now punch forward. Onto the stick of Carlstein. She drops off, back to Zoo. Swings around at the circle. Great centering pass. Here's the shot. It's deflected high and into the boards. Swung around, picked up by Erickson. She fans on that one. Mansour tries to exit the zone. She can't get it out either. Here's a centering pass, and it's deflected away as the Pioneers have been under pressure here early on. Cunningham in net after that great performance her last time out. Again, stopping 39 of the 41 shots that she faced. In net today, it's Sophie Shipton for the Minutemen, owning a 4-0-1 record, a 1.58 goals against average, and a 943 save percentage. She's been staunch as all get out in net up on the near side half wall. Couple of players come together, shuffled up and out of the zone around Daves. Here's a pass from Brennan. It finds the stick and out of the zone. This one's chipped forward. Now picked up by Brennan. She bounces that out of the way as Shapiro. Here's a bouncing puck that eludes Kyla O'Leary. She's the leading scorer for the Pioneers this year through their games so far. 17 games played. She's got 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. So neither of these teams have been lighting up the scoreboard too much this season. In 4 of the last 8 games, though, for the Minutemen, they have been scoring at a much higher rate. As that was Caroline Peccolo with a good chance right out in front. That was turned away. And here's a deep shot and another save by Shipton. Easy stop. Again, 4 of the last 8 games, though, 4+ goals scored for the Minutemen after they had not scored 4+ goals through their first 12 games of the season. So they found a scoring touch here lately. That pass pushed through Gromko. Centering pass. Gromko couldn't get it towards the net. Collected by Gabby Hardy. She throws this up and out of the zone. This could be an icing call. And it will be. Almost 5 minutes into this one. 1-0. For the Minutemen, a really early goal. Scored by Hannah Gromko. Her 9th of the season. This is going to elude Arguin and up and out of the zone. Evans pushes it forward, and that pass was not connected. Up and around the boards, Sharoon gets a tip on it, not out of the zone. Evans files it towards the net, right into the DU logo of Cunningham. She'll pin it against her chest and will get a stoppage. Again, the Pioneers coming off a 3-2 victory at Rhode Island. They won 1 of the 3 games that they played out there on the East Coast last weekend. A power play goal by Cassie Doherty was the game winner in the 3rd period. Evans again ripping one, and a glove save made by Cunningham. Back to Evans. She's ripped the last 2 shots, sends it towards net again, sticked away. So the last 3 shots of the game, all coming in the last 10 seconds, have all come from Evans. Alicia Sharoon on the near side half wall, given up and out of the zone. Shoveled forward, and that pass is going to be deflected and knocked away. That was Ceramic, another one of those players that was abroad in the first semester that the Pioneers are excited to have back, as they were shorthanded a lot of times in terms of just players in the first half of the season. A lot of girls getting a lot of ice time every single game. And as Ceramic loses the puck, it's sent back towards the circle. Gabby Mansour backhands a pass towards Swyjack, and it's not going to be completed. Pushing on it again. This is knocked away, and right in front, it kicks away. Good opportunity for the Minutemen again. They've had the pressure on the last few minutes. That was Gianna Bonfilio with the opportunity in front. Hannah Bourbon gives back. She stood up in the neutral zone. McDonald looking for Gromko. She comes away with it. Sends it back to the D-men and pushed up forward. Back into the neutral zone, nearing 7 minutes into this game. The Minutemen out west here in Colorado. Again, 2 victories the last couple days against CU. Here's a wrist shot, another easy stick save for Cunningham. She was outshot in the game last week against Rhode Island for the Pioneers by margin of 41-28, but again, 39 saves for her, and she has to make another one right there. Centering pass by Durnford, and it's knocked away. This pass won't get through either from Lila Roach. And now here comes the other way, Lily Moravchik, or rather Anna Sherling, excuse me. That dribbles towards Kyla O'Leary. She's got it in the near side corner. Tries to push it up to the point. It won't get there. That was Laura Daves looking for the opportunity. Thrown off the wall by Moravchik, not out of the zone. Daves keeps it in. Her pass goes in, and Carlstein able to intercept it. Here's Kyla O'Leary from the dot. Her shot is a stick to it, and it won't get through. Flying up the ice now. That was Carlstein, loses an edge, but the puck finds her again near center ice. Deflected away. A race for the puck. Chisdek finds it. Finds Reese Olson. The Pioneers looking for their second win here on the home ice of Magnus Arena this year. Is also won at Family Sports Center, wherever they're playing that day. At Magnus early this morning, Kyla O'Leary was turned away there. Now it's Pekala across the red line. She'll dump and chase. Shipton plays it behind the net. Good pass off to Chisdek. She pushes it towards the net. Tip on net. And a save by Shipton. That was deflected maybe twice on the way through. I believe Reese Olson got the final touch on it. As we're near 9 minutes into this first period, 9-6 in shots in favor of the Minutemen. 1-0 the score. Gromko, the goal scorer, less than a minute into the game, and nothing since. Up but not out of the zone. Funnel deep again. Reese Olson chasing after it. Evans was able to nudge it up the boards. Not out of the zone yet. Gabby Hardy had an opportunity to keep it in. It won't happen. And she loses the puck. Arguing. Center and pass. Here's a shot from the right dot. It trickles in. The Minutemen extend their lead. It is 2-0. Hope Viskovics, the goal scorer there. Her first goal of the season. Great passing play there by the Minutemen. Their referees are taking a look at the goal here, just making sure, I believe, that it's set. No, I think there's maybe something wrong with the ice and the blue paint that they're trying to level out there for Cunningham. But Viskovics found herself all alone above the hashes on the far circle, and she was able to skate right in. Her shot went low blocker, Cunningham got a piece of it, but it trickled in just inside the post. So 2-0 in the first period. Ceramic loses the draw. Puck on her stick now. Pass back, Cunningham had to bat it away from Brennan. Arjun punches it into the slot. Here's a shot, she got a tip on it, backhand score! 2 goals in the matter of seconds. It's Ivory Arjun punching that one home right in front of the net. After the shot from Gromko was stopped by Cunningham. 3-0. Minutemen early on. Gromko found that puck in the slot, got a good wrister off. The initial save made by Cunningham, the rebound. A golden opportunity in front, and Arjun was able to punch it past Cunningham. Pulling it around her right pad. Shramko was looking on the forecheck for the turnover. She's able to make a nice hit in the corner and come away with it. Molly Erickson couldn't get there. Pekkala keeps it in at the line. And it's taken away and thrown up and into the boards. So we'll get a stoppage in play. Monfilia sent it into her own bench. The Minutemen have really found their scoring touch. Again, the first 12 games of the season never scored more than 3 goals. Here's a wrist shot by Bourbon, didn't get through. And a zone exit from Bonfilio. She's knocked off the puck by Chisdek. Another collision there from Erickson with Dunford. Erickson still jousting for the puck. Dunford sends it into the Pioneer end where Pekkala collects. Goes D to D. Or rather, Hannah Bourbon up there. She sends this towards net, a long wrister. That's the easiest save Shipton will make of the game. Pioneers keep it in. Another deep shot. This misses the net on the near side. Erickson on the near side half wall. She's been out there for a while, but she's been effective on the forecheck. Just like that, Hannah Bourbon gets a stick on that puck. Now it's Swyjack. Her shot is immediately blocked, just chipping it forward. Molly Erickson, it's out of her reach. This is sent out of the zone by Dunford. Here's a look. And that pass didn't get through. McDonald was trying to push it forward and find Balerna. Dump and chase. Balerna couldn't handle it on the near side boards. Picked up and sent out of the zone. A 3-on-2 for the Pioneers. Here's a wrist shot that goes wide. And now here's the counter. Balerna with the puck on her stick. Going the other way. Knocked off her stick and taken away by Samantha Brennan. Gabby Mansour. Backhanded fast. Finds O'Leary. And that's poked away from Anna Shirley. Here's a good forecheck, picked up by Shapiro. A collision with Shirling. They both go down. Chipped up and out of the zone by Brennan. 3-0. 8 minutes left in the first period. Against a team that really does not allow a lot of goals. Only twice this season, both against Liberty, did the Minutemen give up more than 3. So for the Pioneers to win this, they'll have to be the 3rd team this year to get at least 4 goals on a really nice defensive team in the Pioneers, or excuse me, the Minutemen. Pass swung back around out of the reach of Brennan. Here's a shot from Dunn, or that was not Dunn, excuse me, that was Shelby Little. And this is not going to get through either. Trying to kick it forward, then find her stick. Carlstein couldn't come up with it. O'Leary tries to exit the zone. Olsen has it knocked away from her. Pass forward, intercepted by an opportunity, or rather a pass from Katz. Olsen tries to cut it off. Katz has it, throws it high off the glass and into the zone. Little under 7 minutes remaining. Gabby Hardy loses the puck there. She was covered by a couple Minutemen. Carlstein across the blue line. Has some pressure on her again. That was Ceramic. Great move by Pekkala. She gets beneath the red line now, beneath the goal rather. She might have had a short side shot if she wanted it. Her pass up top eludes both Gabby Hardy and Alex Chizdek all the way back to Cunningham. Chizdek swings it around for Hardy as they try to push the puck the other way. And that pass nearly given away in her own zone. But eventually corralled. Bonfilio with a good forecheck. Funneled up but not out of the zone by Zoo. Evans to Bonfilio, intercepted by Donovan. It's a cutting play, knocked off the stick. Right back to her. Here's a wrist shot glove save. Shipton's best of the game so far. Hasn't been challenged much. That was definitely the most that the Pioneers have gotten on a shot on net in this one. Ozone draw for the Pioneers, won by the Minutemen. Immediately sent up, but not out of the zone. Chipping away at it. Viskovics, the second goal scorer of this game. That's pushed away from her. The Pioneers could get numbers. Here's a drop pass. Wrist shot got deflected away. That was a good look from Donovan. But good defense. The Minutemen have not allowed a lot through. A lot of blocked shots so far early on in this one. Sharoon couldn't come up with it. Played off the boards and all the way down. This should be an icing, and it will be. 4:54 left in the first period. 13-8 in shots for UMass. 3-0 on the scoreboard. Face-off won by the Minutemen, not out of the zone. Brennan punches it forward. Now it's taken up and out. And pulled away from Zoo. Pass sent back by Maya Shockett. She missed the first half of the season abroad as well. Molly Erickson's shot from the corner easily pushed aside by Shipton. Up to the point. Here's a wrist shot from Daves, and it's gloved down just above the left pad by Shipton. So the Pioneers' last few shifts have been spent in the UMass zone. Face-off tied up. The Pioneers eventually come away with it. Chizdek didn't get it through the skates, so Leary has that punched off her stick. Here's a pass across. It didn't get through. Williams, one of her first touches of the game. Evans centering pass. That was a rocket. That was no chance to be able to play that effectively for Balerna. High off the glass and out of the zone. Evans grabs it in the neutral zone. Her pass across is deflected and stolen away eventually. That was O'Leary who got the first touch. Pekkala was trying to recover. Off the skate and into the zone. That was off Sparrow's skate. Evans reams it around. Balerna knocks it out of the zone. Gabby Hardy fresh onto the ice. Acquires the puck. Into the O-zone they go. Here's the wrist shot on the ice. Didn't hit the net. Shapiro has it taken away. Katz just sent it deep. She'll get off the ice. Gabby Hardy on the forecheck. Couldn't come up with it. Here's a race to the puck. And it's going to be won by Sparrow. Centering pass in front. Wrist shot goes wide. Excellent opportunity for Shapiro. A terrific pass from Sparrow. But it just missed the net. Mansour on Sparrow. Sparrow eventually comes up with it on the boards. She had a stick to her backside. No penalty called. As it's played up and out by Hardy, she shoved off the puck in the neutral zone. Right back into the zone. Waiting for options. As Ceramic needed the rest of her teammates to get a change, but she's able to keep in the zone. Donovan on net, and it's fought off by Shipton. Reese Olson goes up high. Sherling back to Olson, couldn't handle the pass. Long shift for Sparrow. She'll enter the O-zone and then get off the ice. Losing the puck, it rolled on Dunford a little bit. She didn't get a lot on that shot. Alicia Sharoon, the president of the DU Women's Hockey Club, out on the ice here. Centering pass. Didn't get through. Donovan's pass, up but not out. Now she'll get it through. A minute 42 left in the first period, 3-0. UMass. So far, the goal scorers Hannah Gromko, Viskovics, and Argun. Here's a pass to Swijek, the captain for the Pioneers. On and off her stick immediately. 14-11, 14-11, excuse me, in shots for the Minutemen. So the Pioneers, after giving up that third goal, have really upped the pressure. Bourbon knocks it out of her own zone. She sticks that away. Pops forward for Molly Erickson. Erickson across the blue line, poked off her stick. That was Little who was able to get her stick to it. Up forward, that was intended for McDonald. It goes deep, no icing called. It must have deflected off of somebody. Chisdeck funnels it out of the zone. Immediately collected by Little. She'll send it deep. 43 seconds left in the first period. Erickson couldn't get it through. Sent deep again. It's been a dump and chase kind of game for the Minutemen, and they've done a really nice job collecting those pucks and getting opportunities. They've shoveled it right towards the slot. That's where all of their goals have come from early on in this one. Bonfilio knocked off the puck. And into the zone comes Shockett on her backhand. She loses it. Little, good defensive play. Up to the top. And from the point, it's shoveled deep again by Chisdeck, but that's going to end the first period. 3 goals for UMass-Amherst in the first. They scored less than a minute in, kept piling on. And the Pioneers will go to the locker room after 20 minutes, down 3-0. You're watching Price Productions. We'll be back after the intermission. Welcome back to Magnus Arena on Price Productions. I'm Zach Goodman. 3-0 the score after 20 minutes. The UMass-Amherst Minutemen out in front of the Pioneers. Goals from Hannah Gromko as well as Hope Viskovicz and Ivory Argoon. Later on this afternoon here in Denver, it's the Denver Broncos against the New England Patriots. And before the game, stretching up on the concourse, you need two hands to, or rather, you need more than two hands to count the amount of Patriots jerseys you saw the Minutemen wearing. Saw a few Broncos jerseys from some of the Pioneers. Of course, both teams have plenty of local players to their areas. It's cool they're matching up, maybe a prelude to what happens later today, just a few miles north of Magnus Arena. Draw won by the Pioneers, but all the way into their own set. Shuffled back deep by Little. On the stick of Shapiro, she spins around and gets away from from Brennan. Gabby Hardy, a stick in between her legs, but able to muscle it out. It was Roach who was tied up with her. Not out yet, rammed forward. Two players hitting the ice. Shapiro knocking down Daves there. Brennan comes away with it. A blind pass. Hardy was able to locate the puck. She'll send it up, but not out. Here's a wrist shot on net by Little. Deflected away by Cunningham. She was beaten the first minute and then back-to-back about 10 seconds apart. But outside of that, she's been pretty solid. Here's a wrist shot deflected away. Argoon was looking for her second. Blind pass, was trying to get it into the slot. That was knocked away by Dave. She was in good position. Not out. Pressure by the Minutemen. Here's a shot by Argoon. And shutting the door was Cunningham. Going 5-hole was not available. Minute 10 into the second. 16-11 in shots in favor of the Minutemen. The Pioneers played much better the final 5 minutes of that first period, where they put some pressure on Sophie Shipton and UMass. Sent around Pekola. Able to corral it. And it's deflected back into the zone. Argoon with the good forecheck. A turnover. And punched away from the Minutemen there. Into the zone, Chelsea Donovan tries to throw it to herself. Too far out in front of her. And Chizdek couldn't keep it in. So it'll be Pekola racing back, and they're going to call icing. That was off the stick of a Minuteman. Thought that was pushed back by Donovan. Face-off one. Donovan pushed it towards the net. It went wide on the near side. Up the boards towards the point. Chizdek keeps it in. Finds Alicia Sharoon. Knocked off her stick by Gromko. She scored the opening goal of the game. Sent to the near side corner. Rammed forward. Intercepted by Pekola. And she gives it right away. Here's a wrist shot blocked by Chizdek. Centered right again. Loose puck. And it deflects into the corner. Charging forward is Argoon. Again, she's had a couple opportunities early in this one. That gets caught in the ref's skate. The linesman knocked away a possible 2-on-1 as Alicia Sharoon was going forward with Chelsea Donovan. They were both at the end of their shifts. Would have been tough. Argoon in. Pass intercepted. Read really well. And now shuffled forward. Nearly 3 minutes in to the second period. Cassie Doherty has got some smooth skating. Scored the game winner last time out. Good addition to this Pioneer team here in the new year. Zoo can't get it out of her own end. Now she's slapping, calling for the puck. And she'll get it, pushing it deep. She'll give chase after it. And a centering pass and a save made with the pads. On her stomach is Cunningham. The puck loose behind the net. Shoved around right into the slot. A wrist shot and a goal. Joanna Zhu, the British Columbia native, makes it 4-0. That wrist shot went high over the glove of Cunningham. And it's been an onslaught here in the second period. 7 shots already for the Minutemen and a goal. We're 3.5 minutes in. Again, this was a Minutemen team that struggled to score early in this year. Didn't score 4 goals or more in their first 12 games of the season, but now make it 5 of the last 9 where they have reached that mark, including today. Muscled out, turnaround shot deflected away. Brennan plays it off the boards, was trying an angled pass forward to Shirley. Here's the interception. Here's a wrist shot, it goes high. Karlstein was looking for the net. She just sent it above the crossbar. Here's a wrist shot by Williams, deflected up and over the net. Brennan punches that forward. Picked up by Laura Daves. Kyla O'Leary would give chase. Pressure on her by Dunford. Knocked up to the point. Chisdek sends it towards net, deflected wide. O'Leary got a stick on it. Now she intercepts. Sends it back, was looking for Katz. Now it's Petula spinning at the blue line. O'Leary has it come off her stick and out of the zone. Best shift so far the second period for the Pioneers. There's a sauce pass, finds Reese Olson. Chips it into the neutral zone. Out of the reach of Sparrow, sent forward and not corralled by Dunn. Chisdek rips it off the end wall. It comes back to her. Now she'll just float it deep and down the ice. She'll give an obvious icing. Past 5 minutes in to the second period. 4-0 here on Price Productions. Again, back-to-back wins for UMass to start this road trip against a CU team that beat the Pioneers 7-2 earlier this year. They won 4-2 and 3-2 yesterday in overtime. Back into the zone, having to tag up with a Minutemen. Chisdek rips it off the boards, hit the referee. It goes up high to Little. She'll just funnel it forward. Petula kicks it up to Katz. Hardy couldn't corral it. Little trying the bank pass, intercepted. Chisdek with speed across the blue line. They have numbers. Chisdek shoots, and it's loose, covering up the puck after the initial save. Shipton had trouble fighting that one off initially. Chisdek had options. There was 4 Pioneers in on just 1 defenseman for UMass. They got a good shot off. Officially their first of the period. But Shipton was up to the task. Always tough when you're not seeing a lot of shots as a goaltender. So our first bit of rubber almost 6 minutes into the second period here. Gabby Mansour in a race, but she's not going to get there. It waves off the icing. Gromko opened the scoring. She was the first to the puck to wave off the icing. Intercepted, right back in front, wrist shot. That's Ericsson's best save, Cunningham's best save of the game so far. Beautiful opportunity right out in front. Funneled forward out of the reach of Chelsea Donovan. Sent right back around. Waiting on the boards was McDonald's, and this should be an icing. Mansour gets back, and that's exactly what we'll have. O-zone draw for the Pioneers, being outshot 22-12 in this one, and we're going to get another icing call unless Argoon wins this race, and she's not going to. Good job by Samantha Brennan hustling back. Beats Argoon to the hashes, and about 5 seconds after the last icing, we'll have another one. Megan Swyjack, the captain, jumps onto the ice. She'll take the draw here. Face-off won by Swyjack. Up to the point, Dave's shot, and Shipton never saw it. She was able to get a blocker on it off straight positioning. Good screen in front for the Pioneers. Donovan fishing for it. Comes up high to Bourbon. Her wrist shot goes wide on the near side. Evans funnels it forward. Now it's out of the zone. Argoon banging sticks together, trying to corral that puck. It's up for Chisdek. Thought about dropping it off to Donovan, and the indecisiveness results in a giveaway. McDonald turns the puck over momentarily, but Zoo is able to come away with it. Uses speed, drive it into the zone. Around the boards into the far side corner. Here's a turnaround shot, and it's gloved down. Zoo looking for her second on that one. And both teams will get changes. Long shift for the Minutemen there after the couple of icings. But they'll recover. 23-13 in shots. It's 10-1 here in the second period. After the shots were nearly equal, 13-11 after the first. Here's a shot that didn't get through. It's Chisdek who has it on her stick. Backhands it out of the zone. Sherling was behind the D, but the puck never got to her. Pekala has to retreat after not coming up with the puck. Walking into the zone, it's Dunford. Easy backhanded save for Cunningham. The backhanded shot, rather. Just over 8 minutes into the second period. 11-1 in shots for the Minutemen here in the second 20. Dunford immediately off the face-off and shutting the door. Getting her pads down was Cunningham, and another quick draw. Pretty clear here. The Minutemen just trying to get the puck on net. They've had plenty of opportunities from the slot as well. It's where all 4 of their goals have come from. 3 wrist shots and then 1 banged home by Argoon that was on a rebound. Chisdek towards Pekala, out of her reach. It eludes Sherling, but it heads back into the Minutemen zone anyways. High off the glass. Chisdek will be the first to it. Couple Minutemen will get off the ice. Chisdek, good move through the center. 3-on-2 for the Pioneers. Chisdek goes wide. She's pushed off the puck. It finds Gabby Hardy. Backhanded shot. Didn't get through. Doherty passes back Mansour off Chisdek's stick. Punch forward, just nearly didn't go into the bench of the Minutemen. Centering pass, one-timer, glove save. Shapiro all alone in the slot. Got the one-timer off. It fluttered a little bit, and Cunningham gloved it down. So an O-zone draw for the Minutemen. Sparrow and Katz tied up, and the Minutemen come away with it, just funneled towards the net. And Cunningham throws her glove on top. She'll freeze it. So another draw. This one much more cleanly won by the Minutemen. Little. Down low to Shapiro. Now a pass from Sparrow deflected away, and Gabby Hardy with speed comes out. Pioneers can get numbers again. Hardy was pinched off and just funnels it forward by Roach. Good angling from her. The last couple of odd man rushes that the Pioneers have had, it's been good defensive plays from UMass that have broken it up. Chelsea Donovan's pass was intended for Doherty. It was wide of her. That allows the Minutemen to get a change. Doherty out of her own end. And that has taken away from her right into the zone. A wrist shot, easy save for Cunningham. Past the halfway mark in this game, 4-0 Minutemen. Gromko, Viskovic, Arjun, and Zoo, the goal scorers. They're doubling up the Pioneers in shots. +1, 27-13. Sharoon, it megs her right through her legs. Here's a wrist shot, glove save. Might have been going high, but Cunningham seeing the puck really well. When she's had eyes on it, she's been able to make the stops. Especially when it's not from the slot. Face off one back, immediately back on net. And a pad save from Cunningham. Into the near side corner, funneled towards the net. Good defensive positioning by Dave. She knocks it away. Again, comes through. Try. Didn't get through. Pad save, it's loose. Cunningham was a little bit off her angle. That puck gliding across the ice was knocked down. The Minutemen have upped the pressure after a 3-0 first period that was more evenly played than the score suggests. 13-11 in shots. The Pioneers really came on at the end of the first, but it has been all Minutemen here in the second, despite them scoring just one goal compared to the 3 they had in the first period. That was off a UMass stick, so icing waved off. Shifted, comes out of her net to play the puck. Knocked it forward towards Evans. Chizdek knocks it loose. Here's a pass forward. He did out of their own end. Ceramic finds Chizdek. She'll send it deep, or rather Sharoon. Swyjek onto the ice. Puck finds her stick on the near side half wall. Taking away McDonald's pass, intercepted by Erickson. Couldn't completely corral it. It goes into the corner. Shoveled up, but not out by Viskovic. Puck is loose on the side of the net. Hannah Bourbon's to it. She just tries to throw it towards net from a sharp angle. It comes up high. Chizdek's shot misses on the near side. Pekala lost it. Pass forward towards Zoo. She nearly had a break there. If that puck deflects off the stick the right way, she would have been all alone. Dump and chase. The defenseman Pekala in. Knocked into the neutral zone. Swyjek caught on her heels. Racing into the zone and knocked down. No penalty called. There hasn't been a power play for either team yet in this one. Borges went down with that one. A wrist shot on net and another save from Cunningham, who's been really sharp here in the second. Cassie Doherty gives her a pat on the head after that save. 7:46 left here in the second period. 4-0 UMass. 17-3 in shots here in the second period. One back to the point. Wrist shot from the far side. Was looking for a stick, didn't find one, and this is deflected on the way in. Cunningham makes the stop, pushes across on the wraparound try. Puck still loose, jammed at. And now behind the net, Mansour to Shirley. Good backhanded pass, pushed forward by Erickson. She was looking for O'Leary. Back into the zone, the Minutemen come. That shot went off a skate and wide. Mansour collects. Can't get it forward. Puck finds Shirley, now off her stick. A long wrist shot, was looking for the deflection. Didn't get it, and it's caught by Cunningham. Up to 33 shots now in the second period for the Minutemen. Still 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining as well It has been an all-out onslaught. When the Pioneers have broken out here in the second period, they haven't been able to get any cycles really going in the O-zone. Their opportunities have looked to come on the rush, but on 3-on-2s, it's been really nice defensive plays for the Minutemen that have broken them up. Pushed ahead by Daves. Now it's Gabby Hardy. She's it. On the forecheck. Knocked it loose for a moment from Dunford. To it is Katz. She'll backhand it deep before getting off the ice. Semi-change for the Pioneers. Sparrow's it. She is a drop pass if she wanted it, but didn't feel done behind her. Centering pass in front. The Pioneers were there to knock it away. It was Samantha Brennett fanning on that. Shot was Donovan, rather effort there. Sparrow knocked aside with the pad. Right back on net. Not corralled cleanly. Rebounds loose, and a couple of saves made by Cunningham as the Minutemen were swinging away for it. This is knocked behind the net. A blind centering pass. Didn't get through from Shapiro. Puck is loose. And onto the stick of Daves. She finds Donovan, who's racing forward, gets behind everybody, waiting for teammates. They're getting a change. Has it on the far side corner. Pinned up against the boards by Lila Roach. And knocked off the puck. Alicia Sharoon, defenseman. First in, couldn't get to it. A race for the puck now. Chisdek wins it. No icing as that came off the stick of a Pioneer. As Arjun was racing after it. Icing waved off here as well. Now they're saying we're at the 7-minute mark of the second period. Seems as if time was not running down. Should be more at 5 minutes right now, which it says on your screen. That's the accurate time, but somebody here at the arena, whoever's running the clock, just didn't start it. Until very recently, if you remember, we were about 7 minutes and 5 seconds into the game when the shots were 30-13. They're now 36-14, and only 20 seconds of game clock has come off here at Magnus Arena, and that might be why they're pausing right here before this face-off. And that's exactly what it is. They bring it down to 5 minutes. We'll adjust that back for you. A little bit of a miscommunication here at Magnus Arena. Hannah Bourbon's long wrister from outside the blue line's blocked, sent back deep again, but didn't get through. Cassie Doherty's shot, centering pass finds Bourbon. It's knocked up to the point. Mansour keeps it in. Back to Bourbon. Bounces over her stick. She's pinned up against the boards by a couple of UMass players. Zoo. A forward pass towards McDonald. Puck is loose. They're searching for it. A swing from Zoo. Didn't get through. At the point, a wrist shot from Viskovitz. And it's knocked into the corner by Cunningham. Zoo. At the point again, Viskovitz shoots, and a glove save from Cunningham. Doherty was knocked to the ice. It went right over her back before Cunningham snatched it out of the air. She has stopped 24 of 25 shots here in the second period. Zoo beat her up high early on in the second. Nobody's been able to find Twine since. Here's a shot that goes wide. From Dunford. Katz has it on the far side half wall. 5 different players looking for the puck now. Daves comes up with it. Backhanded pass intercepted. Back up high to the point. Here's a shot that got through and a save made on Malkiewicz. The 39th shot of the game for the Minutemen. That turnaround shot went high. Funneled towards the net. Interception. Backhanded try goes wide. Williams there found herself alone in the slot. Had to backhand it and just pushed it wide on the near side. Shapiro has her pass intercepted. Again, the shot from Malkiewicz. And again, it goes wide. First to it is done. Shapiro's blind pass intercepted by O'Leary. She plays it around, done momentarily, but then it's taken away by Sparrow. And that bounces over the stick and out of the zone of Dunford. Pressure on her from Kyla O'Leary. Sherling nearly broke into the zone. Sent ahead as the Minutemen get a partial change here. Grabbed and moving the other way is Gabriella Ceramic. She cuts towards the center of the ice. Puck came loose for a moment, and that forces her to just flip it in. A little bit of dump and chase. Reamed around by Roach. Gabby Hardy's the first to it. Loses the puck, but it goes up high for Pekkala. She's going to play it off the boards to Reese Olson. She couldn't catch that pass cleanly. And now it's bounced forward by Little. Not out of the zone. Chisdek just fires it towards the net. It went wide. Reese Olson will be the first one to it. Funnels it deep. Gabby Harding pushes Sparrow off the puck. That gets it to Swijek. Chisdek intercepted, and here's a break for Dunn. Chisdek is flying back and breaks up the possible breakaway for Dunn. She was at the end of her shift, just didn't have much gas left. Chisdek, more fresh, was able to chase her down. Smooth skater as well. Good move from Gabby Hardy. Get it into the neutral zone. She'll fling it deep and get off the ice. Sharoon on the forecheck. She's going to get a stick to it, knocking it away from Roach. Up the near side half wall. Doherty able to push it away from Little. She's tripped, and we'll have the first penalty of the game. Doherty cut towards the net from the near side dot. And a stick infraction will go against Shelby Little. So with a minute 16 left here in the second period, an opportunity for the Pioneers to try to get within 3. Doherty scored the power play goal that was the game winner in the third period last weekend in Rhode Island. A 3-2 victory for the Pioneers. She's going to take a wrist shot here. It was well wide of the net, maybe looking for a deflection. Kyla O'Leary plays it off the boards to herself. Still has it, far side corner. Up to the point, it's Doherty. Across to Pekkala, spins around. Back to Doherty. She sends this towards the net, deflected. It's still loose. O'Leary in front, and it's buried. Hannah Bourbon puts the Pioneers on the board on the power play. It's 4-1. Good shot from the point, got it all started. It was Doherty, then O'Leary banged away at the rebound. Eventually off the pads, finds Bourbon in front, who chips it up and over the left pad of Shipton. And the Pioneers strike for the first time this morning. It's 4-1. They've really weathered the storm here in the second period. They've been outshot in the frame 27-4. But both teams have scored one tally here in the second frame. Knocked ahead, waiting for it was Donovan. Here's a race for the puck, and no icing. Good hustle from Donovan. They waved it off. Blind pass, didn't get through. From Maya Shockett. Daves plays it off the wall. Into the neutral zone, intercepted again. Dunn's long wrister from outside the zone. Pushed into the far side corner by Cunningham. Here's a nice sauce pass. It jumps over the stick of Dunn. Back to it, Malkiewicz rams it forward. Now it's to McDonald. She was looking for a shot in the slot, and that ends the second period. So the Pioneers get a goal late to make it a 4-1 game. Both teams scoring once in the frame. Zoo early on for the Minutemen, and then late in the period, that was Hannah Bourbon scoring for the Pioneers. And after 2, it is a 4-1 game. You're listening to Price Productions. We'll be back after the intermission. third period of action almost underway here at Magnus Arena in Denver, Colorado. It's the Denver University Pioneers against the UMass-Amherst Minutemen. 4-1 Minutemen after 2 periods, 3-0 after 1. Both teams scored a goal in the second despite a 27-4 differential in shots in favor of the Minutemen. In that second period, both teams came away with 1 goal, a late power play goal scored by Hannah Bourbon. Got the Pioneers on the board. Earlier on is Joanna Zhu scoring the goal early in the second for the Minutemen. For Megan Cunningham really shut things down for the Pioneers in net. She has been steady for them as the Minutemen have piled on 40 shots. That's a big wrist shot from Sparrow that went wide. Katz plays it around the boards. That hit something and started bouncing up on the fresh ice. A long shot sent wide. Daves couldn't get to it. Sparrow knocks it deep off the stick of Shapiro. Now off her skate on the pass attempt from Hardy. Good forecheck from Dunn. She's in. Knocked away by Sparrow, right back to Dunn. Good move on the board. Centering pass just out of the reach of Sparrow. Would have been on our backhand for a tough shot. Sent deep again by Roach. Centering pass, and the Pioneers are able to intercept. That's Gabby Hardy. She'll carry it out of the zone herself as the rest of her teammates get a change. She'll dump it deep and then head off the ice. Saronic charging forward. Chizdek was able to intercept that really long pass. And it didn't quite get to Partridge. Around the boards it comes. Roach around for Little. Off a skate and back out. There's a trip down to the ice. Goes Donovan, no call. Here's a short side shot. And it's turned away on Gromko, who opened the scoring earlier in the game with her 9th goal, or excuse me, it's her 9th goal of the season, leading the Minutemen. Across the red line, Pekala rips it around the boards. Shronic comes away with it, but fans on the shot attempt. Knocked back towards Pekala. D to D. And punched away from Cassie Doherty. Having to tag up is Molly Donovan. Here's Doherty into the zone. Her wrist shot is knocked down by Viskovitz. Blocked in front, didn't get to the net. Turnover. Doherty again. Slings it towards the net. Wide on the far side. Gabby Mansour steps up, loses it. Now it's in her skates. Pinching forward is Doherty. Couldn't knock it deep. And now the Pioneers will dump it chase. Molly Erickson on the near side boards trying to cut it off. Good pass from McDonald. Finds Zoo. Backhanded try. It goes right through the crease and into the corner. Here's a one-timer that goes wide. It was off the stick of Hannah Bourbon. Yeah, it's Hannah Bourbon. Loose in front. Jammed at. That deflected high. Swijek knocked down to the ice. Here's a shot blocked by Bourbon. Back in again, Viskovitz. Again blocked by Bourbon. Bourbon around behind her own net. Now cuts towards the middle. And the Pioneers, if they didn't have to get a change, would have had numbers. Bourbon dumps it deep. She's first to it. Shot on net, but it's deflected before it got there by Evans. Good defensive recovery. Shirley fresh onto the ice. Gives to Brennan. Dumped deep by Shockett. She races towards it. And as this puck gets through, finds the stick of Williams. Cuts towards the high slot. Her wrist shot across the ice didn't find its way on net. Daves backhands it deep into her own zone. Battle on the boards. Worked up towards the point and deflected by Sherling. Not out of the zone. Here's a wrist shot that goes high by Karlstein. Deep again, Williams after it. Karlstein pinches and comes away with the puck. Her pass fluttered a bit, didn't get a lot on it, and allowed the Pioneers to recover. Sparrow onto the ice, into her own zone, centering pass. It's loose on the ground. Is Cunningham able to knock it away? First 4 shots of the third period have gone for the Minutemen. Every Pioneer shot has been blocked so far. Daves under pressure in the near side corner. Sherling couldn't get it through. Here's a centering pass, and it goes off the stick of Shapiro and thrown out of the zone. Kyla O'Leary flying down the ice. Won't be able to catch up. Sent around the boards. Pinching in, Dunn. Ripped across the wall. Dunn couldn't get to that banked pass. Reese Olson's onto the ice, jams it out of her own end. Now a backhanded pass in front to get it back into the zone. Jamming it deep, Argoon. She scored the 3rd goal of that first period. Viskovitz the 2nd goal. Mention all the goal scorers now here in the 3rd. Almost 6 minutes into the final period. Ranging back into her own zone, it's Little. Her pass nearly intercepted. Getting a stick on it was Hardy. Now some speed into the zone. Here's a wrist shot that goes wide. Off the stick of Gromko. Centering pass and a glove save in a dangerous chance by Cunningham. Centering pass. Here's a wrist shot and a goal. Partridge puts it home. It's 5-1 UMass. And Cunningham is going to have to get something fixed on her pads. It was the 46th shot of the game, the 5th goal for UMass. Back into action now. Shockett has her pass intercepted, pinching herself up against the near side post, or rather far side post. Cunningham turns it away. Donovan spinning around, rams it out of the zone. Good stick there, knocks it free. That was Ceramic. Mansour able to shove McDonald away, allowing Ceramic to give her some help. Wheeling around is Doherty. Nearly ran into the referee. Mansour tries to play pitch and catch, but it eludes Doherty. Centering pass and covered up. It didn't get through, as Cunningham was expecting it the whole time, able to stick it down before it got to the slot. 13 minutes remaining in this one. 5-1 UMass. They've outshot the Pioneers 47-17. They're leading 7-0 in shots here in the 3rd period. After the first period was 13-11 in shots. It has been 34-4 in shots through the 2nd period and first 7 minutes here of the 3rd period. The Minutemen have really turned it on. Brennan couldn't get it out. Now a whole horde of players in the far side corner, fishing for the puck. And it comes loose for the Pioneers. The pass jumps over the stick of Erickson. Here's a shot from Argoon. And it was from the deep slot. And an easy save for Cunningham. 12:22 remaining here in the 3rd period. An early morning game on this Sunday. Looking to improve to 3-0 on this road trip to the Rocky Mountains are the Minutemen. Here's a quick shot, finding it loose and getting that puck towards the net was Balerna. Now out of the zone, Pekala plays it right around Viskovich. Here's a centering pass. Nobody's home. Trying to take it away. A stick lift chance for Pekkala. Couldn't get there. Shockett. Across for Chizdek. She wheels into the zone. Backhanded dump. Intercepted. But stepping right back into the play. Shockett gets it deep. She jumps on the forecheck. Played off the wall. Off Balerna. Here's some numbers and a breakaway, but it didn't find the stick of Dunn. She would have been all alone. An excellent pass from Sparrow. Just not corralled. Now it's O'Leary. She's checked into the boards. 3 Pioneers fishing for it. Sparrow down deep to Dunn. Backhanded pass back to Sparrow. Leaves it forward. Turnaround shot. And a save made by Cunningham. That's sent all the way down the ice. Icing called on the Pioneers. Exactly 11 minutes remaining here in the third period. Face-off won by the Pioneers back to their own goaltender. And it's knocked away as Sherling pushes it forward. Now it's pitched up for Lerna. That pass just nearly turned into another breakaway a couple times now. That could have been called a hook, and it was. So the Pioneers will go back on the power play where they're 1 for 1 today. A hooking call. They scored early into the last one. Guilty of the hook. It's Ivory Argoon. And she'll head to the box. 10:37 left here in the third period. Just the second power play of the game for either side. The Pioneers have had both opportunities. It was a Hannah Bourbon goal early into the last power play. And the Pioneers will win the draw, but it's knocked loose. Zhu is going to race down and get to the puck first, shorthanded. Grabs it on the near side boards, and it's taken away from her. Good drag move, trying to get it free. Ceramic. She's transitioning into the zone. Leaves for Hardy. She's got it at the point. Calling for the puck is Pekkala. She's got it now. And she's shoved away. Really good defensive play by Little. Rammed forward, but not out. Right into the skates of Pekkala. She gets it deep to Hardy. Hardy near side shot goes right through the crease on the ice. Picked up by Ceramic. Here's a shot blocked from Doherty. Another wrist shot, and again blocked. A couple of blocks back to back. There from Shapiro. Good penalty killing as we near a minute into this power play. Exactly there right now. Pioneers have been set up a couple of times. No shots yet on this man advantage. Doherty up for Donovan. She's alone as the second unit comes on for the Pioneers. Down to the ice, both her and Karlstein go. It's out of the zone, and the Pioneers have to regroup. Laura Dave's spinning move, and it came off her stick. Her pass was intended for Shockett, and that goes right through the legs of Doherty, and she'll have to race back to her own zone. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. The two D-men changing for the Minutemen. Chizdek off the boards. Plays it to Daves. Regrouping the Pioneers, looking to get set up. That pass jumps over the stick of Sharoon. And sending it down the ice is Viskovich. It ends up off for Ricochet on net. Given off to Chizdek, and that will do it for the power play as our Goons back onto the ice. Good pass to Reese Olson, who's fresh on the ice. She cuts into the zone. Funnels it deep. Chizdek was on the forecheck with her, but then turns and heads towards the bench. One-touch pass taken away. Good defense there. Ripped back into the zone. Montefiglio was in the Great defensive positioning to knock that down. Mansour tries to chop at it to keep it in the zone. It gets by her. Pass intended for Hardy, ends up bouncing right off the stick of Bonifilio. And now it ends up on her after a couple of ricochets. One-on-one into the zone, got it through. It's loose in front, wrist shot, score! It's McDonald, the 6th different goal scorer today for UMass. Found a rebound in front, great job by Bonifilio. She was going one-on-one, but really some back pressure as well. Puck came off her stick, trickled towards the net, and when Cunningham tried to play it out, waiting for it in the slot was McDonald, and she buried it. So the Minutemen have added on a couple more goals here in the third period. 7:30 left. They lead 6-1. They've outshot the Pioneers 51-17. 11-1 here, or excuse me, 11-0 here in the third period. The Pioneers have not got a shot to Shipton yet. Here in the final 20. Katz intercepts, can't get out of the zone. Sparrow knocks it deep. It comes to Mansour, sends it off the glass, not out of the zone. Her second opportunity, she does get it out. Hannah Bourbon slings it wide of the net from center ice. Charging forward, Erickson, pass it front. Bourbon deflects it wide, and it's knocked off of her stick. Chipped forward, not out of the zone quite yet. And now it will come out of the zone. It's done. Dunford, the nice defensive play to break up the chance for the Pioneers, yet to get a shot on net here in the final period. Hannah Bourbon, up but not out, knocked off her skates, and it does come loose. Chisdek, stick to stick, intercepted as Argoon dumps it deep and heads off the ice. Pekala, really nice behind the back pass to Bourbon. She slings it forward. Pass intended for Swijek, didn't get to her. The Pioneers were credited with the shot on net earlier. That deflection maybe from Bourbon might have caught Shipton. So they do have a shot here in this final period. Good pass across from Bonfilio. That stays in the zone as it jumped off the linesman. Towards the net, it goes wide on the near side. McDonald. Back to her. Great pass across. Sparrow shoots. Loose puck off the side of the net. McDonald nearly scored her second consecutively. She had a ton of room on the near side. Puck loose in front, knocked away from Zoo. Good defensive recovery from Sherling to break up that opportunity. Would have been a great scoring chance. Here's it's loose. Sherling chops it forward as the Pioneers need a change. Long pass. Gets by everyone. Icing called against the Minutemen. Exactly 5 minutes remaining in this one. The Minutemen went up 4-0 before the Pioneers scored late in the second frame. And a goal from Hannah Bourbon made it 4-1 on the power play. They've had just one shot since, and a pair of goals scored for the Minutemen since that tally. Racing into the zone, McDonald already scored the last goal. A chance near side, spinning around the wraparound. Came loose, and the net knocked off its moorings. Cunningham, a big push left to right, and her skate trying to deny the wraparound chance for McDonald knocked the net loose and get a stoppage in play. Karlstein wins the faceoff. Back to Evans. Her shot didn't get through. Now it's Viskovics. Finds Karlstein. Pass forward out of the reach of Balerna. Pushed into the Birds. Good job by Balerna. Puck's free. for Williams. Berlerna tried the centering pass. Sherling got a stick on it to prevent it. Into the slot, loose puck, and batted away by Shockett. And here comes Kyla O'Leary, and she's muscled into the boards. Good defensive play to take away any room for her as she tried to go wide. 4:30 remaining in this one. Mansour gets it out of the zone. Sent right back in by Evans. Cunningham plays it with her stick. It's Doherty. Uses the net to shield herself. Her pass taken away and a long wrist shot easily caught. Off the stick of Shapiro. With a win here, the Minutemen will improve to 12-7-2 on the season. A couple of early ties. Scored 4+ goals in 5 of their last 9 after not scoring 4+ in their first 12 games. So they have really found their groove here later in the season. That jumps off the stick of Donovan. Back towards Mansour. Her pass across, bounces over Dunn, and now she comes up with it. 3-on-1 for the Minutemen. Centering pass, Shapiro denied on the poke check by Cunningham, diving out in front. Now diving again, she jumps on the puck. It was loose in front. Alicia Sharoon did an excellent job preventing Sparrow from getting that on net, as Cunningham wasn't even in the blue paint after a sprawling poke check attempt to take away the breakaway opportunity. She recovers. Sharoon prevented a goal right there. Sparrow was in the slot. She had the entirety of the net to shoot at. A giveaway near their own net. Banged ahead towards Reese Olson. Up and out of the zone. Racing forward, Chisdak. Look at that speed. She was nearly there in time. But icing is called. Looked like she even possibly did win the race to the hashes. But icing is called, no argument. Puck is free in the slot, knocked away by Argoon. Pekala shoved into the boards. Gromko has her pass intercepted, but losing it is Katz. Pekala, good play, as she takes a slash to her back leg after laying a bit of a hit. Gabby Hardy pushing forward. Little able to fend her off. Gromko in her own end to Little, who thought she might have had options forward, just sent an errant pass. And I have no idea how that's not icing. But they waved it off, as that should have been a clear ice. Reese Olson behind her own net. Gives off. It's Pekala. Her pass was a laser beam that was just off the ice. It bounced off the staff of the stick of Swyjek. She loses the puck now. It's McDonald. Plays it off the boards, tried to get it over to Zoo, but Hannah Burden comes away with it. She sends that towards net, a bouncing puck gloved by Shipton. It's the second shot of this third period for the Pioneers. They trail 6-1 with 2:11 remaining in this one. 54-19 in shots. Cunningham has been busy. In her own end, a short side shot from Bourbon and a save made by Shipton. Kept in at the line by Daves. Could not get it through, or at least initially didn't get it through. And now Erickson, the shot from the dot. Didn't get a lot on it. Easy glove save for Shipton. So 14 seconds comes off the clock after that last ozone draw. The Pioneers will try again. The captain Swyjek wins the draw to Bourbon, and her shot attempt, she fanned on it. Now here's a deep wrist shot. Easy save made by Shipton. So the Pioneers getting a few shots on goal late here in the third. Off the skate. and on net. And Shipton was aware. She was ready for it. As Julia Williams, who was boxing out in front, had it go off her skate, it would have been an own goal. As Hannah Bourbon just ripped it into the slot, hoping to find a stitch. O'Leary lost it. Argoon is able to get it away from Williams. Not out of the zone. Doherty's wrist shot, fended away, rebound shot from Shirley, and a near side save. The best of the third period for Shipton. There was some space there for sure in between her and the post, and nearly buried by Shirley. As we close in on the 1 minute mark remaining here in this third period, 1:10 to be exact. Shockett was chasing down the puck. Now it's Mansour in her own end. Wheels around. Her own net. Good cut there. Works around a couple of Minutemen. Sharoon bangs at it. Comes through to Donovan. Back into her own end. 45 seconds remaining in this one. And Sharoon rips it around the boards. Chasing after it, Ceramic. Didn't come to her. Pekkala intercepts in the neutral zone. Nearly poked off her stick. Back into the Pioneer, or rather the Minutemen end. Pekkala had to wait for her teammates to tag up. Throws it off the boards right back to her. Pekkala loses it on the half wall. Taken away. Now it's Shapiro heading the other way. 18 seconds left in this game. The puck goes into the Pioneer bench. So the Pioneers are going to fall to 4-19 on the season. Their attempt at starting a winning streak after their road win against Rhode Island will come up short here against a really solid Minutemen team that has been playing their best hockey here late in the season. Chisdek's pass to Sharoon. Into the zone. Here comes Donovan. 4 seconds to play. They got to get it on net quick. Hitting the ice is Donovan, and that will be the end of this game. Final score 6-1 here from Magnus Arena, 54-23 in shots. A dominant performance, especially in the last couple of periods by the Minutemen. Goals from Kromko, Viskovitz, Argoon, Zoo, Partridge, and McDonald for the Minutemen. On the flip side, the lone goal for the Pioneers came at the end of the second, a power play tally from Hannah Bourbon. You've listened to Price Productions, Douglas Sheffield, Mary Lindsay. I'm Zach Goodman saying so long until the next time. Final score 6-1.